Hi there! As a far-right conservative, I am unhappy with other right-wingers who neglect and exploit the planet. They are inconsistent, since conservatives should be conserving nature. Why the inconsistency and ignoring of facts? Money greed! So environmentalism is an area where liberals are right. Many people are vegetarians because they realize that many meat production plants keep animals in terrible conditions, slaughter them in inhumane ways, and various species are depleted because of high demand, such as overfishing. Vegans are those who also abstain from other animal products as best they can, such as milk, eggs, and cheese, as demand for such products might also lead to animals being kept in terrible conditions. To understand their position, a vegan listed these three videos as must-sees: Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives, and Earthlings. There are also health reasons. I quote Table Talk, the April 25, 1942 entry. The Fuhrer replied, "The food of ancient Roman soldiers consisted principally of fruit and cereals. The Roman soldier had a horror of meat, and meat was included in normal rations only when the difficulty of obtaining other supplies made it inevitable. From numerous pictures and sculptures, the Romans reflected magnificent teeth, which contradicts the contention that only carnivorous animals have good teeth. The intervening centuries show no changes. The dog, which is carnivorous, cannot compare in performance with the horse, which is vegetarian. Likewise, the lion shows signs of fatigue after covering 2 or 3 kilometers, while the camel marches for 6 or 7 days before even his tongue begins to hang out. Those who adopt a vegetarian diet must remember that it is in their raw state that vegetables have their greatest nutritive value. Science has proved that cooking destroys the vitamins, the most valuable part of our food. Children today are much healthier than those of the Weimar Republic because mothers now realize that they contribute far more to their children's health if they give them raw vegetables and roots instead of boiled milk." End of quotes. However, before adopting a vegetarian and especially a vegan diet, make absolutely sure that this will not harm your health. Perhaps you should consult your doctor about your diet plan. For those who have the green light here, numerous vegan foods mimic meat products and taste just as good. Yet a big problem with many vegans is that they look down on non-vegans as murderers and abusers and elevate veganism into a religion which competes with traditional religion. But quoting Christian scripture, Matthew 3:4, the same John, that is John the Baptist, had his raiment of camel's hair, a leather belt around his waist, and his meat was locust and wild honey. Yet in Matthew 11:11, Jesus said, "Among those born of women hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist." Quoting John chapter 21, verses 9 to 12. After they were come to land, they saw a fire of coals there, and fish laid thereon, and bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring the fish ye have caught." Peter went up, drew the net to land full of great fishes, 153. Jesus saith unto them, "Come and dine." Quoting Acts chapter 10, verses 9 to 16. Peter went upon the housetop to pray, and he became very hungry and would have eaten. But while they made ready, he fell into a trance, and saw heaven opened, and a vessel descended to him, like a great sheet knit at the 4 corners, and let down to earth, wherein were all manner of 4-footed beasts, wild beasts, creeping things, and fowls of the air. And a voice said, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." But Peter said, "Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything common or unclean." And the voice spoke to him again, "What God hath cleansed, call not thou common." End of scripture quotes. Here are the reasons that justify that. 1. In that time period, there was no mass production or synthetic drugs. Therefore, animals were not kept in cramped stalls or cages, nor given harmful chemicals. 2. Kindness is a necessary Christian virtue would necessitate animals being used in the most humane ways. Animals are apparently unaware that they are headed to slaughter, totally unlike prisoners awaiting execution. Human deaths are generally more painful as they slowly deteriorate over several years. I myself am deteriorating and have different pains. 3. That was the time before vitamin pills and synthetic garments the existence of those things, so animals were more necessary for nutrition and clothing. 4. Numerous animals would not survive or thrive in the wild. Their numbers proliferate only because humans keep them for industry. 5. Some animals would kill and eat many other animals or be an invasive species that destroys native species if they themselves were not hunted for food. 6. No animal is a devout vegetarian, let alone vegan, and would eat meat if offered it. My mother's uncle had a farm, and a favorite food of his pigs was bacon strips and ham. A cow in India killed and ate 48 chickens, and other such stories. 7. Vegetarianism or veganism can be impractical due to health complications or living in a meat-eating household where what they eat is controlled by who buys the groceries and cooks the food. However, it is imperative in this day and age to have as many people as is practical adopt vegetarianism or veganism. So I get double thumbs up to that idea. But since not everyone will be so, meat eaters, research where your meat comes from. There are bad sources and respectable sources such as the Humane Farming Association. And we can all avoid vain luxuries such as furs, leather goods, and so on. I want you to do whatever you can for God's creatures. Again, to hear the vegan or vegetarian side of the story, see the videos if you would. Cowspiracy, second one, Forks Over Knives, and the third one, Earthlings. Take care.